On this episode of The Sequence, I'll show you your different options you have to mix inside of the MPC ONE. The Sequence. What is going on, peoples? I'm back at it again. I know I had a day off or two, and I do apologize for that. It was so much going on, I couldn't even help myself. But yeah, we're back at it again. I'm going to show you how to mix inside of the MPC ONE. I'm not going to show you different tips and give you advice or anything like that. I'm just going to show you the different options, because for some reason, when I give like advice or something like that, I feel like I'm making y'all like really bad at mixing or whatever. So, you know, what works for me probably won't work for you. And that actually kind of translates to a lot of the mixing channels altogether, though they won't say that. But whatever the case may be, let's get into it. I'm going to play an example track, which I did during a live stream, so make sure that you're subscribed and be a part of the notification gang, and that's going to help me out a lot, and it will help you out because I answer a lot of questions during that, on the fly and all that, guys. So anyways, let's go ahead and play the track. All right, now the first thing I want to give you as far as advice or tips, and I did say I wasn't going to give tips, but the first thing you should know is that your Qlink knob is, as long as you have the track highlighted, will control the volume of the track. So this track in particular is drums, and I'm going to go ahead and play it. Press start, and that's that Qlink. You can hear the drums go away, which is going to sound good. Yeah, and it does correlate as soon as you hit this data knob and mess with the like other elements, which I don't have the bass on right now for a certain reason, and the sample, you know, you control the sample or something like that. It's just a really good tip to know, so that you know that, and make sure that you're on the first red dot, or the first dot here. Don't be on these other dots. So the first dot of the Qlink. Next thing, you can mix your tracks by going over here where you see the home icon, the grid icon, and this is the track mixing icon. However, I don't know about working with that. The reason why I say not working with that is better than what I'm about to show you is this right here. So the drum tracks right here, it's really difficult to mess with and understand. But what you can do here is press shift and pad and mess with all your pads at once. Now, if you heard the track, let's go ahead and play the track again. And if I was to play like the different pads, you can hear that those hi-hats are really loud. So let's just turn those down a little bit so that they're not going to be loud on other devices. Again, you can touch the screen and mess with the data knob, or you can just press the pad and it will allow you to adjust things. I also brought up the kick because the kick sounded weak as hell. So that way I was able to have like good punchy kicks. And also the snare was hitting a little low. I think it was on 0. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to give advice, but every time I always do that. But so there's another element to mixing, of course. That's the pad mix. So if you want to mix your drums or whatnot, just go into your pad mix. And it's really good to have this type of workflow for something I'm about to show you a little later. And we're going to hit this track mix button. Now, this track mix button is a little different from the pad mix button because now you're mixing the tracks. And let's go ahead and see. See, now I can mix like the sample with the data knob. It's too loud, in my opinion. And, you know, that just kind of correlates into different things that I'm going to show you right now. So you also have control of other things, other elements as well, just by using the touchscreen here. And you can also do another thing, which I didn't show you, and that's adding inserts. So you see right here, if you're in the track mix screen, that you can add inserts in there, and that is a really cool thing for this particular reason, because you have access to all your effects. So there's an air maximizer on here, which we're going to go ahead and press this pencil sign and pull up the maximizer, which is going to allow you to make things louder than it necessarily needs to be, or whatever you want to use the maximizer for. You also have all of your other effects available to you as well. You have a channel strip, compressor, noise gate, anything that you really want to use is there. And we're going to go back into the pad mix. That also does apply to the pad mix as well. So if you want to put like an insert or two on a certain program, you can just put it in the pad mix here and then select an effect. So that's a really cool thing to know, just in case you build your drum program up from scratch and you want to add different elements to it. Of course, remember I just did a lo-fi video, and you can just add like maybe like a lo-fi effect to it, and you can add like the MPC 3000 algorithm to it or something like that. You got some pretty cool stuff that you can do within the box here in standalone mode here. So exiting out of that, I'm going to go ahead and press this button right here. So let's press the track mute button and let's talk about it. And I'm going to bring in the bass element. Now the bass is obviously loud for a reason here, and the reason why I wanted to go into that is because I want to remind you that you can just turn it down in this screen right here, and this is just for workflow pleasure. You can turn it down. If you want to distort your bass or 808, you can too as well. You just go into track mix and then just pick out what your track is with the bass on it. And it's this one. Let's go on to insert. Go on to dynamics here. Now let's go on to harmonic and distortion. Now, when working with effects too, and you have to keep in mind when you do pick an effect, you have your Qlinks right here where you can select your different effects or whatnot. And you know, this does work with all of the plugins, so just understand what your Qlinks are working for. So now I have it on hard mode, so if I was to play it, let's go ahead and play it a little bit. Turn down the track. And now I'm gonna mess with the different modes, rap mode, hard mode from the Qlink. Just keep in mind that you should always pay attention to the position of the dot. And you can mess with the drive, you can mess with the output, you can mix it down, parallel mix it if you want to, so that's 50%. And you can go to the next Qlink, mess with the shape, you know, per se, whatever the plugin that you're working with. So that is a good thing to know when you are working with the MPC, that you know how to mix your different elements, because that was the one thing that had me lost with this machine, because I love to mix beats. A good mixed beat will make a difference. Though, is it necessary? Probably not. Another thing I guess I could show you real quick is this feature right here, because a lot of people will be like, well, you know, wouldn't it be better if you tracked out your drums and, you know, you did it on different tracks? Well, no, because one feature that the MPC series has, or even the Force, you can go into your pencil right over here from your main screen and you can select explode. And what that's going to do is explode the different elements of that particular drum track or drum program into different tracks. So now you have all your different elements here. Last but not least, I know I said I wasn't giving advice or whatnot, damn it. But make sure that you name your tracks too as well. That will help with the workflow of when you're mixing different tracks and stuff like that. So I have my drums first, of course, then I have my bass. Usually I have like my melody second, and then I have my bass. But I will say, like, most engineers, they get triggered when you don't have your drums first and then the bass next and then your melody third or whatnot. So just make sure that you have some type of order to it, because order is key. That is something that Renegade El Rey taught me. So So tell me how you feel about this video. Please leave a comment below of something that you want me to cover. I'm looking in the comment sections for motivational things that I think will probably help everybody out, because a lot of you guys are giving great tips and stuff like that, and I really do appreciate you guys. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah.